Okay, here you go. For my first project, I need to raise the engine about a quarter of an inch and finish tying all the motor mounts down. At this point, the flywheel gets torqued to 70 pounds pressure, and with the help of this clever little tool to hold the flywheel in place for me. Alright guys, I had to skip a little bit of what I was doing because I was concentrated, but let me show you guys what I just did over here. So I just installed the cooling system for my oil for the engine. Per se, you know, most engines, the oil filter goes right there on the bottom of the bolt, but this one has a piece right there where, you know, these two hoses connects to it, and then of course one hose comes to the heat exchanger, goes inside of the heat exchangers, and then come back out, and then it goes to the filter, and then the other hose goes back to the engine over there. Not all engines have this, but hey, pretty cool, and you can add this to any engine really. And I went and I did a little modification. I installed my oil filter right there, because as you can see on this engine over here, the oil filter actually goes on the top of the manifold right there. But the new manifolds that I have, the connection that the bolts goes through it over here, and then they slide in through a hole up here. So, you know, these would sit all the way up here if I were to install on the new one of these. And I kind of don't like it. You know, I really didn't like it the way it was. I didn't want the stress on this when I'm changing the oil filters and stuff. So I went and I changed it for over there. But other than that, like I mentioned, dropping the transmission here was quite tricky, and then installing the transmission, I actually forgot to support wood underneath the bolt, which, like, you know, at first it was not letting me slide the transmission in place, so that was quite, you know, tricky until I figured out there was a piece of wood on my in front of me. But once I did that, everything was good, and you know, this motor mounts, everything got adjusted. You know, I have everything adjusted perfectly on the shaft coupling. Hold on, let me show you guys. So okay, that's the coupling for the shaft. Now aligning that was kind of tricky, you know, because of course you have the 4 feet, so everything goes up and down sideways. So, you know, I had to play it with it quite a while to be able to have that perfectly aligned. You know, everything was touching beautifully. So everything's tied already, it's all good. Was it yesterday, I installed the strainer. Okay, so like per se, yeah, you know, the bolt picks up the salt water right there, and here I have a washing thing, you know, system. Per se, I can just hook up a hose to that, and with this shut off I can, you know, let the water in or not, and that way I can close that shut off and just let fresh water go through the engine. Even though I'm gonna have a heat exchanger on it, I still want to you know, flush the parts that will get salt water on it, which will only be the heat exchangers, but still want to wash it, you know, like rinse it off. But so next episode I'm going to be doing the cooling system, you know, the fresh water cooling system. So thank you everyone for following along, and I see you guys in the very next episode. Thank you.